I'm going to turn to Brian.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
This was probably my favorite movie of the year so far. I loved the cast.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone did an excellent job for what they were supposed to do. Matt Damon as the overprotective father, trying to keep the last thing that he has in his life with him. It's like whenever his daughter is away from him or in any sort of danger, there he is, arm wrapped around her, just, you gotta get out, gotta get out, gotta get out.
He somehow manages to convey rage and concern at the exact same time, which is amazing.
Kate Winslet was very good in her role, even though it wasn't the longest role that she had, but it was, I felt that even though she was sick, that she was still working. And
that final moment where she's trying to
give the man her coat.
Giving the man her coat's heartbreaking.
Yeah,
while she's dying, and that fact that that's her last act. By the way, we don't give a crap about spoilers. Kate Winslet dies.
She's gorgeous doing it.
Yeah.
So.
And Jude Law even. I loved his character as the conspiracy guy.
Yeah.
Because you know that in everything there's going to be a conspiracy.
Yeah.
You're going to have the guys like, oh, the government's trying to hide this. They already have the cure, and now they're just trying to profit off it. So here's this thing, and buy this thing while I profit off you buying this thing that I tell you to buy.
Exactly. Yeah. And he did it in such a way that you, at moments, you start to believe him that he's the good guy until the end, until it all like unfolds, which really makes you like sympathize somewhat with the hypothetical audience that would be listening to him. You know, because he seems to be the one guy in control and being smart and walking around.
And plus, there is that
his own version of the
hazmat suit.
There is that moment where he gets sick and then he gets better, and so.
Right.
Well, you also have to argue: is he really sick? Is he truly sick?
But I mean, so that introduces some doubt in who who should we really be concerned about? And that I found that interesting.
I was like, the thing is, if Forsythia did cure him, why was he still going around wearing that crazy hazmat suit?
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's one thing that you like.
I didn't think about.
Really have to wonder.
Yeah. So, how'd you feel about it, Steve?
My feelings about this movie are very complicated. Intellectually,
the girl who didn't call you back in high school. I kind of like it. I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Intellectually, I think it was brilliant. The performance. I mean, this cast is a dream cast. We
didn't talk about Lawrence Fishburne.
Yeah,
we should. He's really good.
Although I have to admit, like when I first saw him, I was like, "Damn, Morpheus got fat." But it happens. But if I could pick any cast for a movie, this is the cast I would pick. It's like everybody that I like in Hollywood think is talented and deserves to be in a movie is in this movie. Even Demetri Martin, which was really kind of distracting at first, but because
every time I saw him, I'm like, oh, look at his stupid face.
Yeah. And he's in a big goofy hazmat suit.
It's hard not to see it as a bit, you know.
Yeah, it is.
But still, I mean, it wasn't so distracting it, wrecked the film or anything.
No.
The problem I had was that while it was technically amazing, everything about it was really well done, I just didn't have any emotional. There were very few moments where I emotionally connected to it. The moment, and most of those were with Matt Damon.
Yeah.
His reaction to his wife dying, that was where they tell him she's dead. And he's like, okay, can I go talk to her?
That moment was amazing.
That was like a beautiful moment.
Well, and his performance, like, we were sitting in the theater. His performance, like, quieted the theater.
Yeah.
Because at first they kind of giggled at that line. And then as he continues to go on in denial.
Yeah.
You just hear the theater, like, get silent. It was amazing.
Yeah, so there are all these things about the movie that are so well done, but for some reason, it doesn't come together in a way where I'm doing other than saying, wow, that's really well done.
All right, we're back, and this week we are going to do our summer wrap-up, so we're going to do our top 3, bottom 3, and maybe the one movie that you wish you had seen but hadn't. So, I'm going to start off with my bottom 3. Starting at 3 is Cowboys and Aliens.
Mm-hmm.
I had a real tough time picking my 3 for my bottom, actually. 1 and 2 were cemented for me because they were just bad. But I just really didn't like some of the movies that you guys liked.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't like Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and I didn't like Super 8 as much as you guys did. And they were down there in my bottom, so it was kind of hard for me to put them there, even though...
Because we were talking off camera, you were saying that you knew that they're good movies.
Yeah.
So it's
I know they're good movies, so it was hard for me to put them down there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2 would be Transformers.
Of course.
It had great action for a half hour. But there was 2 hours of just boring build up.
Yeah.
Which shouldn't happen in a movie that is arguably marketed to children. They don't have an attention span for a 2.5 hour movie where things are only going to blow up for a half hour.
I would have a lot less problems if there were more plot holes and they just skipped forward to the end of blowing crap up, you know.
And then number 1 would be Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. Because it was just abysmal.
Yeah.
And it just shows you how far ahead Marvel is than DC in regards to their superhero movies. You've got B-level characters from Marvel that come out with way better movies.
Yeah.
Thor is not well known by any means, but that movie was just so much better than Green Lantern.
Yeah.
And it was a waste of $300 million.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah, just down the drain.
I don't know where they spent it.
Yeah.
Catering.
Because the special effects weren't that good.
No, they weren't.
So I'll start with my bottom, because I think we're all going to have the same bottom, maybe in
might have
order,
an extra one on there too.
But my number 3 is actually Pirates.
Mm-hmm.
I really disappointed. I was hoping it would be sort of a return to the first one. And the most interesting thing about it was the missionary and the mermaid, and that's a very small part of the movie. Mm-hmm. You know, and I was like, get back to the missionary and the mermaid. I don't even care about Jack Sparrow.
Which is the worst thing about that film is that it ruins such an amazing character. Because Jack Sparrow is, even through the abomination that is the third movie, still interesting.
Yeah.
And he's still the best thing about that film.
He's a great anti-hero, whereas in the Pirates, he becomes a hero. And no, that destroys it completely.
You lose any sense that he's going to betray anyone at any time. It's everybody trying to betray him.
Yeah.
It's just, and the action's pretty lame.
Yeah. Yeah, there's
really
that
weak.
too, but mainly for destroying what was such a great character. You know, they basically got a focus group together and said,
how can we ruin Johnny Depp's career?
Yeah, exactly. So.
You can't.
Yeah, no.
They've been trying and they haven't done it yet.
So, because he started number 3, started number 1, I'm gonna start number 2 and go out. I'm gonna start with my bottom.
Okay.
I'll start with my number 3 because that's the way we should have been doing it.
Well, because they're going to be pretty much the same, so that's the differences are.
It was tough for me to pick my number 3 because Pirates is really close. The more I've thought about Pirates, it is pretty much an awful film. Mm-hmm. But I feel like it just needs to be mentioned that my number 3 is X-Men's First Class.
I figured that's what it was going to be.
I was debating between those two because X-Men First Class, the same way I feel about Pirates, it should have been so much better.
Maybe
and the more I think about X-Men First Class, the more I dislike it.
I just bought it. We're watching.
I know you just bought it.
We're watching it again.
Stupid.
Anytime.
It's dumb. It's racist. I mean, I don't think it's a very good film. I don't think the action is good. I don't think the characters are good. I don't like it. My number 2.
Go ahead, do your top 3.
My top 3 now?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm gonna go with Captain America. It's Super 8. And my number 1 is Harry Potter.
But I would go with Thor for my number 3. My number 2 is X-Men. My number 1 is Harry Potter.
My number 3 is probably Captain America. My number 2 would be Horrible Bosses. And my number 1 movie of the summer would probably be The Help. The rain rains. Why doesn't the wind wind? Why does the wind blow and not wind? I waited for him to start recording to answer that question.
When Gregor Samsa woke up one morning from unsettling dreams, he found himself chained in his bed into a monstrous vermin.
Yay, communism.
Yeah.
We're in space and we rule everything. Yay, communism.